or should I go?
That's the question, right? Should they stay or should they go? The first stages of vote counting are underway in Britain's referendum on the possibility of leaving the EU. And as we await results, I want to bring in Hilary Kramer. She's the president and chief investment officer of A&G Capital. Having a little fun there, Hilary. But this could have implications that are pretty serious if this does in fact happen.
Yeah, with the UK and all over the world, and especially this European Union, which could start to unravel with Spain, Greece, Italy, Portugal maybe following suit.
So is there a fear that there could be a domino effect?
Absolutely. The concern is that if the UK leaves, these other countries will certainly want to leave because they're just laden with so much debt, and they've been imposed upon them certain restrictions on pensions and reforms. And basically the big concern all over Europe is that the European Commission makes the rules and imposes these on countries.
Specifically in terms of trade, what would it mean if Britain left the EU?
Well, the EU, there are these trade treaties with tariffs. So the UK would then have to pay these tariffs, which would make it almost impossible to make money from the rest of Western Europe. And it takes time to forge the new trade deals with the rest of the world. But for the UK right now, for them, leaving makes so much more sense. Do you know that some of the regulations include not being able to recycle tea bags, or children under 8 years old are not allowed to blow up balloons, and vacuum power, the power of vacuums? All of this is making for such anger, not just in the UK, but all over Europe.
Would this have a real impact, though, on the middle class, both in Britain and here and other places abroad?
Yeah, and it has. Okay, the middle class has been affected because there's been so much immigration that's been forced upon certain countries within the EU that really can't absorb it. So the UK last year absorbed 330,000 new people. That's a lot for the United Kingdom, and every country's in a different position. The UK, formerly had industries like coal mining, for example, and they're trying to make their way back. Yes, they have large pharmaceutical companies. Yes, they have Vodafone, Diageo,
Sure.
a big spirits maker, but it's very hard to absorb all the immigrants.
So if you're an investor here in the United States watching this, what should you be looking for, and what does this mean for our investments here?
For the United States, any type of Brexit would be very positive for us, because all eyes are going to be on where can I put my money that would be safe. And that's going to be in the U.S., because the EU would be seen as unraveling, which is incredibly complex because the other countries, for the most part, are part of the euro. And in the UK, it's going to take years, really, to forge, the new agreements and to start fresh again. And they've already been told, there's a lot of acrimonious debate in the sense that the UK has been told, if you leave, you are out. You are not coming back to the table. Obama has said you're last in line.
Right. So that's if the UK were to leave.
That's right.
What impact would it have on the global markets? How long would it take for the recovery process?
It could take a number of years for the UK, especially for certain of their industries where they have so much trade with the rest of Western Europe that's part of the EU.
I want to ask you, in terms of the entertainment world, we were talking a little bit earlier that this could potentially have implications moving forward with certain shows, even Game of Thrones.
Oh, it's fascinating. We keep talking about Brexit, but you have to really, peek under the skirt. And what you find out is that everyone is affected if the UK leaves. On one hand, they get their independence back, the nationalism, and the ability to hopefully bring back jobs. But in the immediate, you have the media industry. There's a media fund. Filming, production is underwritten, is subsidized by this European Union, which takes in the money from all these countries and then doles it back out. So Game of Thrones, filmed in Northern Ireland, would have to move maybe to Croatia.
Oh boy, a whole nother layer of stuff. Hilary Kramer, thanks so much.